now going to have first ban, first pick, and that for game number 2. Of course,
and also to touch on the mid lane choices, Zed is banned in this game. Both Ambitions are very good Zed players, so it's a detriment to both of them to not have it available, but at least it's to both teams.
So here we go. We are going to be seeing, wow, the Lee Sin was left open for this one. Diana not banned out this time around. Let's just have a quick run through of them here for OGN, because Jarvan for Zach and Evelyn. Diamond, diamond, diamond.
We have to do it could stop OGN's really heavy dive in, because going through a Nasus and fighting within one is really dangerous just due to how much damage his ultimate does, and it will really benefit, I think, Europe to have a little bit of almost initiation safeguard if they go for that pick, but from the looks of it, they might not be going that direction.
So Kha'Zix, Jace, Twisted Fate with the 3 bans here. Diana in there, as you said. Right now they're hovering over both Elise and Rumble. We talked statistics here with this one. That Soaz has got a very good statistical record with Elise, but we know that Edward can play it there as a support, and has shown at least that as a support is very, very deadly. But there is a Thresh.
This could be going.
So that changes.
You know, I have this thing where when I see Thresh, I don't mentally register it as a support. And I was about to see, we could still see Elise go absolutely anywhere in this one, but only a couple places now. It could be top lane or in the jungle if they decide to go in that direction with it. I like the pick due to the win rate, but it obviously left open that Lee Sin that was so incredibly effective for Insect in the last match.
Yeah, and he had no problems with that one. You can see it there flashing up behind Insect's position, and also
love those monoliths.
The Caitlyn coming in as well. So again, Varus left open this time, and they've decided not to go in that way. It's obviously praise saying, I want Caitlyn. Caitlyn number 1, that's what I want to go with.
It's mainly to just ensure lane victory, and also they could be shoving a whole bunch with it. Why break? Why fix it if it's not broken?
Exactly.
The Diana was banned last game. They're picking that up. They know they had a solid lane phase with Caitlyn against whatever Yellow Pete would go at him. And Yellow Pete's champion pool is really Misfortune or Varus in a lot of these situations. Still going to have to decide on this one, but OGN is looking really strong.
So right now, the Europeans and a possible Udyr, which would make Jack a very, very happy man. We'll focus first, though, on the Ezreal pick here for Yellow Pete. And since it has now been locked in there, Udyr in the jungle here for Diamond. One of the... There's just not many of them left anymore, especially in Europe. We've got basically 2 guys. We've got Diamond and we've got Makata, who, of course, is in MYM, a new LCS team for the summer split. Off you go, Jack. Talk about Udyr.
I'm going to just touch on Ezreal first.
Okay, well,
I like the Ezreal pick because it defends a lot against the Lee Sin kickback. If he arcane shifts afterwards, he can not get kicked backwards, so it's a bit more escapable. As far as the Udyr goes, though, it's a good composition to pick into as long as OGN doesn't get more stacking slows. If they haven't picked their support yet, and even though Mad Life doesn't play a huge amount of Janna just beats Udyr. That's just one of the worst possible things you could play against. We'll see if they decide to go with something crazy. Lulu's not that great either.
Yeah.
Against Udyr. Lulu's great.
Against Udyr. With the slow. With the glitter lance is what we're talking about. However, Mad Life is going to say, you know what, Udyr? You come running at me, I'm just going to pull you straight in there and destroy you. He is going to be picking up that Blitzcrank, what he's really became famous for, I guess we could say in there. Obviously, that really extends past Blitzcrank at this point as well, but that's going to be fantastic. See, Edward, honestly, didn't really shine in that last game with the Blitzcrank. No. We'll see if Mad Life can do it this time around.
Kind of just throws down the gauntlet. Says, I don't care what you guys are going against. Hooks on hooks, because it's 1 Thresh versus 1 Blitzcrank. Actually, Blitzcrank is almost just a higher risk hook champion. If you miss the hook on Thresh, you still have a whole bunch of other utility, but Mad Life is all in with that Blitzcrank pick. And it's actually not that good to pull in an Udyr, so he's going to have to be very choosy with how he goes in against this. He's picking it into multiple counters. Even Ezreal is great against it, because you can just dodge out. I feel like even Soaz is good against it, because he can just rappel up into the air.
No.
That's getting the crowd
It's
going.
Edward.
But it's Edward.
Yeah. Oh, it's locked in. Wow.
It's Soaz,
I didn't see that one coming, that's for sure.
Not in the slightest. We've seen a little bit of Tryndamere recently. It was picked by Zion Spartan in the NALCS playoffs. Also, the new thing that people do on Tryndamere is they build a static Shiv as their second or third item. Spinning will build up your procs over and over again. It's kind of replaced Tryndamere a little bit into high-rated competitive, but it's also Alex playing Tryndamere, so they could do lane swaps or something strange. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, what have they got to lose at this point, the Europeans? They're 1-0 down. They're going on to arguably the tougher side coming into this one. We'll have to see. I mean, if it's not going to be now where you risk something coming out, then whenever will it be? And we were almost not going to fall for that one with it, you know, being Edward.
Yeah.
He's the guy who likes to hover over every last champion in the world before he ends up, you know, going back to his Lulu, Thresh, or Sona, which is pretty much what he plays at this point, apart from Blitzcrank in that last game. That wasn't the best champion, but we're going to see him back on that Thresh. We'll see if he can pull up the performances that earned him that Thresh Prince nickname earlier on in the LCS Spring Split. And, well, honestly, Europe really could do with it right now.
And how are they going to start with this one? There's a huge amount of questions, not only about how is Tryndamere going to work, the lane against Diana potentially, or are you going to lane against Ryze and try to just bypass that Rune Prison defense that he normally throws up. Shy's, of course, on the top lane. Ryze again. They did kill him a few times that game, but then the team fights came through and he just crushed. Ambition is on Diana, which is even more comfortable for him than Jace. There's a lot going on in this game.
Yeah, of course, the Udyr as well coming out for Diamond. Really interested to see how he brings that one to the table. We have seen it a couple of times from him. It's not like he's bringing this from the depths of the past. This is no Shyvana at this stage of things.
This actually reminds me of the MLG final, kind of the international exhibition. Insec was on Lee Sin. Diamond was on Udyr, and there was an amazing top lane, like 1v1 that just happened in the middle of that game where Diamond dodged a point-blank Lee Sin Q and was able to win the 1v1, hoping to recreate that moment, but then come out on top because obviously KT Roaster B ended up winning that international exhibition.
So let's see then here at level 1. And we've got a Blitzcrank in there as well, which is something that we always have to be careful about when it comes to level 1 and the scenarios that we could see. But, Jack, it's not quite to the level that we saw in Game 1 when it comes to level 1 possibilities.
No, these guys are not as strong, even though they're still quite strong. Because you look at the OGN champions, they pretty much have as much level 1 threat. It's just not there for Europe. The Pulverize, or sorry, it's backwards as what it was before. Because there was the Blitzcrank threat from Europe, whereas there's no Alistar in this game, and it would just be the stun from Soaz. Early on, though, with the roaming around, not too much pink ward control coming in, because that pink ward didn't actually see the green one.
Yeah, that's not the best start for OGN in this one. Sticking that pink ward in there not to get anything really back for it. But it looks like we're going to have a fairly timid start to this, and it also looks like we will see the duo lanes actually going head-to-head once again. So now we've seen, I'd say it's become more common than to have these two. This time it's going to be a possible invade from the Koreans.
And there is a pink ward on their own blue buff here, so Europe knows they have a ward in here, and I wonder if they're going to try to counterattack this or just basically avoid it. And from the way they're posturing around, I feel like Yellow Pete and Edward better just stay clear of this and then go for a blue steal. But it's getting outplayed a bit by OGN, and because they're getting their blue as well. They're getting double blue here.
Yeah, it's going to be...
Oh!
Wow! Wow, that was the counter that they needed, that's for sure. Yellow Pete, Mystic, straight into it. Right now to go in there. The blue buff was already taken, though, by Ambition. And that, right there, could have gone very wrong very quickly.
Diamond was so close to getting a double steal, almost about an inch away, and it has to be the greed a bit of Insec wanting to get the really quick double buff, not wanting to use his smite on the blue buff. But because of the early pink ward from Europe, they had the vision to well-time their blue steal and really set Insec back just a little bit there.
Look at Alex, the damage coming in here on towards Madlife. Oh, but one of them pulls him in there, he's exhausted. The heal comes up and Lee Sin comes in from the side. First blood for Insec once again. Here is a flash from Edward, but can he escape Prey and Insec? They're going to put a lot of damage down, but now Diamond's coming around the side. Prey is still landing the attacks. The Q from Lee Sin doesn't land. They turn around on towards Diamond. There's the hook, another hook from Madlife. And where is the finisher going to come? No, not quite. One last auto attack needed. Insane start.
Diamond taken to sub 20 health by that last auto attack, and Madlife 100% on his hook so far. Both of them almost pulling into kills. It looks like Alex got a little crazy there. Some reason he was in mid lane with the Thresh because of the two-man push by Prey and Madlife, but what an explosive start to this game.
Well, that's exactly what we want to see. Hooks left, right, and center coming out of Edward and Madlife for this one. And up to now, they're definitely not disappointing us. Meanwhile, the AD carries are gaining farm with that one. Yellow Pete against Ambition here, and he Needs to be a little bit careful, of course. Does have that arcane shift to move away. Both of them got blue buff on as well.
Really strange lane setup here since Nash is going to try to support Alex each of the mid lane. Ezreal's one of the better solo lane AD carries, but once level 6 hits, he's going to be an extreme danger to Ambition if he doesn't get help by then. But I have to say early on, especially with the blue buff, Yellow Pete's probably going to have his way with Ambition a little bit.
Yeah, and has a 14 CS lead with Prey getting in there. He did pick up the assist, though, from that first blood, which I feel probably should have been his first blood. Insect threw that Q over just to get that last tick of damage.
Had to secure it.
There.
Alex may have been getting
exactly.
away.
We don't like to use the word steal, especially when Edward's in the team. It's always secured. So this middle lane then, it's looking like with the AD carries and support's going to be bashing faces there, which will leave Diana and Tryndamere in this bottom lane.
And I think this is the matchup that Europe really wanted. Nice hook dodge thereby, and maybe Edward's getting a little bit aggressive. But in that bottom lane, I feel like Tryndamere will be able to trade a little bit with Diana if he can out-sustain him and get on him once that minion wave is clear from the turret.
Well, Ambition already started a couple of hits there on towards that turret. And again, the top lane has passed by with, as it did in game number 1, no real action, nothing really to be said up there. They're just going ahead and farming away. And right now, it's almost bang even again.
And I think that's good for Shy. Ryze is not really known as a good top laner, but Shy has made it work. Maybe soon it'll be the common thing where we see Ryze every game, but it's strange. You don't have the necessary escapes of top lane. You start the game very squishy, and you pretty much have to turtle it out very early on, and Shy has been doing an excellent job of doing so.
Edward just stood on a trap there in middle, which kind of surprised me when there's a blitzcrank there as well to pull you into the mix.
A little daring.
Maybe that's part of the plan here from Edward. Get that flay in there and a hook, and all of a sudden things start to turn around. But Prey has started to catch up with the CS of Yellow Pete, who obviously was 1 versus 1 against Diana at the start of it in that bottom lane. Right now it's a 10 CS lead for Ambition over Alex Ich, though. That's the direct comparison.
And we really got to see this lane continue. Is he going to be getting support? How is he going to aggress him? 3-6 Diana is not necessarily that crazy, but Ambition is shoving the lane up very well, trying to get a gank on. I wonder if Diamond can close the distance.
Well, he's going to go for that one, and not quite. He's slow, not lasting quite enough there from Tryndamere. Maybe a little bit too early there coming out from Alex, but nonetheless, he does get away. Now Insect, he's actually inside the jungle of the European team right now, stealing away.
And he's taking advantage of what I think was an ambitious move by Diamond there. He's trying to run around and gank on Udyr before he's bought boots. I really feel like in a regular game on Udyr, he's used to taking over a little bit mid-game. He got shut down really hard by that stuff that happened mid-lane early on, and he's getting again and again punished because he tried to gank as Insect steals his entire jungle.
Yeah, and this could be dangerous for both Yellow Pete and Edward in the middle here. If Insect is able to get around from this one, he's not really going to try anything from that. The hook did come out from Edward, but actually clattered against the minion. There is a hook. Oh, just missing from Madlife.
So we finally see on camera a missed hook that wasn't shifted out of or dodged out by a movement ability. He just missed one finally.
There is Alex, just showing that he definitely can put down good amounts of damage here against Ambition. Gets him down to half, and it looks like Ambition said, well, I've had enough time here. I've hit that 50 CS mark. I'm going to go back home and buy.
And Diamond really is in trouble here. That's the second small camp he's had to clear out from Insect's feast that he had over in Diamond's jungle. And since the lanes aren't necessarily going that well for Europe, not having Diamond there to support them is really detrimental.
Yeah, Insect just came down to cover that bottom lane, and I think Ambition was saying, I could do just a little bit more gold before I actually do decide to go home, which he has done here from this one. We'll see what he picks up. Double Doran's rings here, straight out the gate, and the boots and wards as well, so solid trip home.
Yeah, he's making sure he's got enough resiliency to kind of fight Alex. So a bit surprising he didn't end up going with the cloth armor. That shows he's very confident against Alex Tryndamere, and maybe looking for a little bit of support from Insect, or he's just not fearful at all of Diamond's ganking from Udyr.
That's still 7 CS behind. Is that Tryndamere not been home? Well, he has been home because he died at the start, but we're not going to count that one into actually going home.
Couldn't buy anything.
Yeah, didn't have any gold at that point of the game. On the other side, we are seeing Haunting guys coming out actually for at least Catalyst and the tier for Ryze, who looking like is going to be getting the blue buff. So Shy, not only ahead in the CS, is going to have that blue buff, something that's not at all available for Soaz at this stage of the game.
Yeah, and they have the 2 people mid lane. Ambition is so far down in the bottom lane, he's really isolated, and since he went for the double Doran's Ring, Ambition can sustain without a blue buff. It's going to make Shy all the more powerful trying to deal with Soaz. Elise has much lower mana cost than Ryze, so it's going to really balance that one out and maybe allow Shy to outtrade Soaz if he gets the right engagement.
Soaz actually started to wander down here a little bit. A ward does get put into position and was pinged straight away by the Europeans, so they know that there is a ward there to spot what was going on, but they looking like they want to get in on towards Prey and Madlife nonetheless. Lee Sin is at the bottom as well.
And they're trying to force something where nothing is really there because they're losing the lanes. They had to clear out a pink ward and then tried to pull off a gank nonetheless, but Shy had called the missing in action Elise, and really that mid lane was so passive by Korea's OGN champions that it was just a huge waste of time for Europe going down there.
Waste of time, which means that Elise in particular has fallen even further behind now on Shy's Ryze, who, as we said, had some trouble in the lanes in the last game. That Evelyn giving him a real hard time. And look at this, Diamond actually going to pop the ghost here. Goes into bear form, and well, not a lot after that, to be honest. Soaz obviously does have the option to repel, but here comes, the teleport in from Ambition. And in the end, actually gets hit with a brilliant cocoon.
We were wondering what Diamond was waiting for to go in there, and he was afraid of Shy really ambushing him with someone extra. At first, I thought they were worried about Lee Sin, but they may have actually been worried about the Diana teleport. That was probably a very good call from someone on Europe's side saying, look out, you guys are going to get counter-ganked by the teleport, and the ghost for the teleport is actually a trade that is better for the ghost since it comes up sooner.
Right now, Alex Sinch is pushing this bottom lane completely out. Insect knowing that he can't probably stay and trade with him there. Doran's blading with that cutlass as well, going out for Alex. As Diamond is again headed up towards his top lane. Ambition is there. Does have that flash still available, of course. Only used the teleport earlier.
So unless they pull off a very well-executed gank, I feel like it's Ambition that's up there, so they do have a flash to come back. They did the lane swap already. I feel like he's completely safe.
I can't really see any other ways. We are going to see the hooks landing in. Who's going to be in trouble from this one? It's Madlife going very low. He's going to flash out in the end, but he's going to go down here to Yellow Pete. And now Prey is going to be focused. Can they get the finisher? That's a great play coming out. True shot barrage missions. In comes Insect from the side. All of a sudden, it's Yellow Pete taken down by Insect. Have they got enough damage here for Edward as well? He's going to try his damn best. The Q not landing, but here comes Shy from the side and picks up a kill. What a move. What a turnaround from OGN.
You can say turnaround again. That was so well almost baited out by Prey. The fact that he dodged the true shot barrage, or some would argue that Yellow Pete missed it, really allowed them enough time to turn that one around since he had the ace in the hole, which helped Insect enough to be able to execute it with that kick.
Really incredible stuff, and Insect again showing that Lee Sin should he have been a ban for this one. 2-0-1. Got those boots and mobility in there as well. He actually went for Merc Treads, if my mind's not totally failing me in that last game. So
I think you're right. That was against the triple AP though, so
exactly.
he was just trying to get the extra.
This time around, he's going to be a lot more involved getting in places where, well, quite frankly, the Europeans will hope that he wouldn't be. But that's definitely not going to be how it goes down. Let's have a look at a little bit of CS. Something we've neglected here. That was close. It was the minion that got hooked, not Yellow Pete in the end. But between the 80 carries, that's got it 100 to 90, so a 10 CS lead there. Diana is a good portion ahead. The top lane is a good 15 in the lead as well. And now the Dragon is going to be taken by the Koreans.
And it's really across the board. The lanes from the OGN champions are up, but just like last game for Insect, he's down in minion kills to Diamond procs, and I feel like it's a totally intentional thing. Lee Sin's not the type of jungler to be able to farm the jungle and get there, but he has provided enough presence in the lanes and had enough successful ganks that it's enabling his lanes to do so well. Play aggressive, shove up, and get those leads.
We saw there that top turret going very, very low. We haven't seen the turret being taken down to this point in the game. 13 minutes in, of course, the Dragon already done, 4 kills in. But that could possibly, in a while, be the first turret up in that top lane if Ambition decides to keep pushing through. And they are going to actually go in on towards Ambition. We mentioned earlier, still got the flash available. And for me, that's very, very safe.
And these ganks from Diamond are really falling flat. That one barely got Ambition below 70% health, and it didn't end up burning any summer spells. So the rest of the pressure from OGN is going to continue. If those ganks keep happening like that, I feel like OGN's going to be the ones getting the turrets. But you are right, this is a very late time in a game to not have turrets being down.
As Lee Sin just Checking out if the blue was there, and it was indeed there. Tryndamere actually going around for that one. We're going to see Diamond in there as well as Ambition here up on the top. He's going to go low to Soaz. Actually went in back in on him as well. There is the shield coming out and a flash from Ambition. He actually manages to stay alive there, and now Elise is going to be tracked down. We've got Blitzcrank headed in here. Will Madlife be able to pick up the kill? He's going to speed around. Has he spotted Soaz? Yes, he has. Now the rest of them start to come in. Thresh is there. Ezreal's moving up, and I think Elise is safe from that one.
Yeah, that would have been a real hard thing for Madlife to be able to close in on, because there's still a whole bunch of chunky health on Soaz there, and he probably would have been able to beat him in a 1v1 if that happened. I feel like Soaz really needed to get that kill, and Europe in general needed that kill, even just to have a sense that they were coming back in this game, since they'd already lost their lead in the first game to lose, and they've started off this game on a bad foot.
And you just saw the confidence from Ambition there as well. Like, I'm going to go back in on you. I'm going to bait you under my tower. You know, I've got the shield. I've got the flash available. And almost looked cocky coming out there of Ambition, which I like to see amongst these players. You know, really bringing us a great play.
There's definitely a little arrogance coming through from these guys, even just in the way they're playing. But here's a fight in mid.
Yeah, Madlife in a lot of trouble from this one. He's going to try and speed away. We'll pull the Yellow Pete in there. And that is going to mean the death of him as Insect is coming in as well. And this is the Q. But Shy did take down Alexic at the same time.
That is a very surprising kill in the bot lane. But I have to say, Europe learned from their earlier miscue. Once they got the one kill in mid lane, they backed up because they sensed that Insect was coming up after them.
Oh, Insect actually getting hooked in for this one, and he's like, nope, not today, I'm afraid. And just zips away on towards Prey. That turret taking a lot of damage. Bottom turret not super healthy either. And look at Shy, the damage that he's able to put down there. They're trying to force Yellow Pete and Edward away. The Q will land onto Yellow Pete. He gets kicked back here. Will use the barrier. He gets pulled in there by the Lantern. And he actually doesn't get knocked up there. And Insect is going to keep going for this one. Couldn't quite get the angle to get that Q off though on Yellow Pete.
Getting to go wherever he wants with those Sightstone, but the rest of Europe is here.
Yeah, Prey coming in, the Cocoon actually missing there, and Prey's gone straight down the middle. He is going to see them come in as Madlife comes around the side. Can they save Prey from this one? He's not going to be saved. He does go down. Diamond pulled into turret range, though. Are they going to be able to hold this one off? He goes back. Ambition going to keep going, and here comes Lynx in from the side. This is surely going to be 2 kills at least for the Koreans, which should make that 3 as Diana gets a double kill, taking down Elise. Great stuff, and now Alex is in all kinds of trouble. The pull not quite landing though.
And that fight's on so long. Yellow Pete's back for more. Shy, get out of there, man. It's over. The fight's over. It's got to be. Please. Joe needs to take a breath. So, 3 for 1.
Yeah,
in that
ultimate
one
as well.
Sheesh.
Which, by the way, he used earlier on in that fight against Shy and his Ghost, but still died to the Rise.
You are absolutely right. That top lane rise from Shy is devastating.
Yeah.
How is it? I need to watch these games over again and just try to focus just on the top lane. How is this happening over and over again? So much power, and his just dueling capabilities seem amazing, but I need to know how he's staying alive outside of the dueling capabilities, because if you can get through a laning phase top lane with Rise, you're going to be winning a lot of games.
And we mentioned it last game, putting down a ton of wards to keep himself safe there in that top lane, but you know, he's been doing a fantastic job. If you look at the CS area, he's a mile ahead of what Soaz has got to offer right now, a level, and obviously his 2-0-0, got that Rod of Ages in there, the Sorcerer Shoes, the tier, he's got a blasting one, a second blasting one in there as well, so he's just looking very, very good at this stage. And well, the Koreans as a whole, 3-0 they're up in turrets, but I've seen that scoreline somewhere before.
And it did sweep back, but you got to remember, that was about a 28 to 28,000 tie. This one's a 6,000 gold lead as well as the turret score, so it's not like Europe has this huge amount of map pressure that's about to collapse in and just get them the turrets back. They're going to have to make some type of miraculous play, because really after that 3 for 1 really extended fight we had in mid lane a couple minutes ago, they're way far behind.
His Ambition just trying to get in on towards Soaz, but couldn't quite get it. That Cocoon always should be at least be stopping you in your tracks. Dragon coming up in 15 seconds, and you can bet your bottom dollar that the Koreans have got that one down to the second here in terms of timing, and they're going to be pushing this mid lane out just to try and zone the Koreans out of any possible take.
And since Soaz is in the top lane, if they want to get this Dragon, they got it. And it's just a matter of if they're taking anything else from it. You can see all of Europe is just kind of around their turrets. They have no outer turrets defending them. This is the mindset you kind of get into as a team without the 3 outer turrets when you're losing all the team fights. you're trapped. You really have to pick one place to go and just go for it and hope you can win a team fight or get the team in a bad situation. Ambition might just initiate right here.
He is going to go in for that one. Wow, that was a brilliant play coming back there from Edward, but they're going to get in towards Yellow Pete. He's not going to be lucky enough. It's the ace in the hole from Prey that got them that kill. And we see it so often that a team will go for Dragon, the other team will zone them out, but honestly, you can only do that when you've got the power to team fight if they come straight at you, and that's something that Europe don't have here.
And even when they're trying to scatter, the potential to start fights from OGN just seems too high. Turret number 4, kill number 8 in that. I believe that was Dragon number 2 as well. Gold lead just getting bigger and bigger for these guys.
And Insec here actually trying to dodge as much as he can from Soaz. Half of his HP gone away, but there is Prey, and there's a safety for Insec as they try and turn things around once again. Alex Itch starting to join in from the side of that one, and he's finally got that Blade of the Ruin King finished off with Tryndamere.
And I don't know if it's going to be enough for him because there's still just the no magic mantle as far as magic resist goes, and when he goes into these fights, a lot of times as a Tryndamere, you want to wait till a really good moment to pop your ultimate, but if Shy just waits and just dumps all his spells as soon as Alex jumps in, it's almost an ultimate burn right away, and it doesn't give Alex any staying power into these team fights to let that percentage health kick in, or even let his rage generate and build up, because that's what a lot of Tryndamere is based around. Not a good situation. He's 2 levels down on Ambition.
Yeah, and now we are going to see Alex Itch in a lot of danger. How far will Ambition go? He's quite happy to just force him out of this lane, saying, no, you're not even going to think about catching up with me here in CS. He's currently over 30 behind him, and to be honest, he could probably kill him if it weren't for that pesky Tryndamere ultimate.
Yeah, it ruins people's days sometimes, but not today because it seems like they're killing him in a lot of different ways.
Wow, so I was going to have to actually flash away from that one there, not taking any chances, and that's Shy again. I mean, look at that, exactly 60 CS here in the lead. Got the advantage in kills. That's a whitewash and not something I'm used to saying, I'll be honest, about Soaz.
Because he didn't even get punished in lane this time either, that is Shy. Soaz just not seeming to be on his game. I think the Rise just caught him off guard. For someone like Soaz who plays pretty much anything, I don't think he's played against top lane Rise ever in competitive play.
I certainly can't remember that in Europe this season whatsoever, so you may just be right with that one. It's Mad Life and Insec here setting up a bit of a annoyance and kill team off the side. Ambition's going to join in the party as well, and it looks like they're going to try and sandwich the Europeans here on towards this inner turret in the bottom lane. The Q not quite landing, but they'll be happy if Edward just leaves that area right now so they can get turret number 5.
I feel like there's a lot of just posturing going on here because there's no Rise. This would be a 4v5 if Europe could initiate.
Well, Insec just walks away from Diamond there, quite frankly. And it seems like the Koreans have realized that they are going to be outnumbered from that one. Shy will constantly continue to push through this top lane up towards that inner turret, which would be the second one of the game if he's able to push it far enough and actually get that. Soaz trying to come around there and stop that from happening.
And the slowest split pusher in League of Legends is trying to make that happen. But nice hook on Edward.
Oh, Edward is going to be in so much trouble here. True Shot Barrage actually comes across there, and that may just be enough. The box wall actually just hit Caitlyn as well and stopped it from getting into range for the kill.
And even though Shy is a super slow split pusher, he's in between the turrets because he has so much dueling power when they send him for Soaz. This is total control by the OGN Champions All-Star team, going wherever they want. And Shy actually trying to run away from another gank. I think he's going to be successful.
Look at that. He just walks into the Voltire Spiral and says, well, honestly, not hurting me too much at this stage of things. Insec trying to be cheeky here and steal away that red buff from Diamond. And Diamond, at this point, does have that smite, but so does Insec. Who's going to have the bigger nerves here in this one? It is going to be Diamond, and now he's going to try and chase down Insec. He's going to get hit, but, well, it is, after all, Insec who just goes straight through there. No problem.
Jungle gym for him because of the Ruby Sightstone. He's been able to go wherever he wants. Look at the damage from Shy.
Yeah, big burst coming out there. Tryndamere actually off to the side. Shy is in so much trouble now. There are 4 men, but look how much time it's taking them to take him down. Now the rest of OGN are coming in from the side. Have they got the damage? The pull from Mad Life not quite landing here. They're in all over the place. The focus not really strong on this one. Alex got his ultimate running. He's going to die when that ends, or is he as he comes away with the lantern? Will spin towards freedom, but Mad Life is still chasing down. Ambition had to back away as well. Crazy, crazy stuff that ends in a 1-for-1.
And all things considered, that was a really good fight for Europe. They got the kill onto Shy, who had not died all game, so they got the extra shutdown bonus for him. And then they only ended up losing Sauce, who wasn't having the best of games either way. Still down a whole bunch, but it could have been a lot worse when they're initiating a fight like that. That's the first fight they actually didn't come away from with a bad result.
And there is a turret going down for Europe. That is turret number 1 of our second game here. And Yellow Pete, now he wasn't there for that fight at the top, but got to make it count on the other side of the map here. Picking up, well, what could prove, you never quite know how these games could end up being, to be a valuable pick for Europe.
There's a blue build getting slowly built up by Yellow Pete. He's actually went a little different than a lot of people go. He's went for 2 AD items before going for the Iceborne Gauntlets or the Muramana, Bloodthirster and Spirited Lizard Elder. Normally you'll see Ezreal's go for one of the two poking in, and it's been another one of those games for Yellow Pete where he's just been kicked around, pulled around, bashed around, and
which is the complete opposite of where Blue Ezreal really benefits, right?
It's not supposed to happen to him. Now it's Diamond just getting aboard the jump train.
Diamond, wow, actually gets rescued there by Edward in the end, but he was taking a lot of damage from. No, actually Alex going in on towards Ambition, who turns around and said, go on then, quite fancy this one, ace in the hole, you didn't think about that one. He does have his ultimate available, but that's only going to last him so long as Shy will lock him down, and that is a kill for Shy, who goes 3-1-1.
Alex really needs a lot more powering up if he wants to become effective in these fights. He's trying to split push and get his farm, but OGN is just closing in on him at every corridor and not letting him escape.
It should be turret number 5 here. It will be turret number 5, easily taken down after losing Alex. They just don't want to stand and fight with the Koreans. That puts them right now 9,000, okay, 8,800 if we're being precise, in the lead.
A lot.
A lot, yeah.
It's one of those things we could say here. Too much to want to team fight as well would be that gold lead. Really, we saw 2 Baron steals in the North America versus China matchup. And if Europe wants to get back into this game in any way, I feel like it would have to be on a Baron steal. And even then, they would still have a lot of work to do. This is now a 9,600 gold lead. It just continues to grow.
Well, let's talk about 10,000, because I don't expect the Koreans to even risk going for a Baron play at this stage of things.
Yeah, they don't necessarily need to. They've been so confident with their dives. If we think back to the end of the last game, there was about 50 seconds left on a Baron timer. They'd already have 2 inhibitors down. Their Baron buff was gone for themselves. And they still just decided to pile in and finish the game, because that was the play that they saw would give them victory, and they just went for it.
Yeah, having confidence. And I have to say, that's not something you expect from what is essentially well, it's an all-star team. It's a mixed team of players from numerous different sides here. And that just really, you have to give credit to the Korean team, because they've not looked that way. These guys look like they've been playing together for a long time.
And it could be work from Reach, their coach, that got voted in as their manager as well. Yeah. They had a vote over in the OGN Champions League to see how that went in, but also all these players' just general adaptivity. Many people say the OGN Champions League is the most competitive League of Legends league in the world, and if it breeds teams like this, kind of difficult to argue sometimes.
Yeah. I'll see about that by the end of Sunday, though.
Yeah.
And then we can certainly figure that one out as Ambition here. Going to get slowed, but surprise, there's a blind monk coming in. And Edward says, come on, Alex, let's get out of here. Pulls him back with the Lantern, but that might not be over, because Madlife getting in there will get a ward down by the red. He's got that Oracle Elixir on as well to start clearing things out. It looks like they want to strangle that top side of the jungle and therefore have themselves a Baron, which I think they've already started.
They are doing it, and it's another one of those kind of sneaky Barons, because there's 3 people out here, and Europe's saying, like, you know what? We're not going to be able to even think about contesting that. That's the safest possible Baron they could have done.
Incredible play coming out of the OGN champions. Ambition here going to go in on towards Soaz. Uses his Zhonya's. That might be enough time for the rest of the team to get around. The Lantern gets put down, but Yellow Pete gets caught out from that. Where's the next target? Good box positioning, but will that be enough? Prey going very, very low. Here comes Insect from the side. Won't be able to save the rest of his team, though, here. I feel Soaz is going to get locked up there finally by Shy, and now they're going on towards Edward. Last man left alive for Europe, and he will be finished off by Rise, who's now 5-1-2. An ace for just the Diana, who did great work there. Again, Ambition gets in. Zhonya, rest of the team collapse on him.
Plus that powerful Baron buff that's now going to regen up these guys after the fight to continue the push while the death timers are going for Europe. Not only was that a super safe Baron, they piled in slowly for the end of that team fight because they realized what a huge lead they had accumulated. played it safe for the most part. Ambition sacrificing himself because he knew that they were going to get that victory afterwards.
Yep, and now another round of buys coming in. But let's go back and have a look at that one, because that was possibly one of the last big fights of this game.
It very well could be until the final one here, because Ambition is fighting 3 people here. Everyone from OGN Champions All-Stars is actually piling in around the side. Mad Life hooks in Yellow Pete, and they get the biggest threat out of the way right from the start. Also, what's not on screen here is Alex is getting beaten up by Rise, killed once again because Shy's become so powerful. Those are the 2 damage dealers that are from Europe. The rest of the fight is just cleanup.
And look at Prey on the left-hand side. He went super low from that, and I thought he'd actually died. I was looking for his name there, and I saw the pilt of a Peacemaker come from, kind of through the brush, and picking up some more damage along the way. So really, really solid fight again from the Koreans. 15-5 in the lead. Almost 15,000 gold lead. It seems like 2 minutes ago we were talking about 8.
And just like the OGN champions did in the first game when they were actually a little bit behind, they seemed to just pause Europe's game and just keep playing their own, because their goal kept going up, and you couldn't really figure out why Europe wasn't able to get any more for themselves. There's so much control they're exerting on the rest of the map, and I don't expect them to wait very long before they go in for something big here, while Ambition split pushes the other lane.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like I've seen Mad Life waiting behind that wall before here as well. See if he can get any hooks coming in. Almost catching Soaz there with that one. You see there in your bottom left-hand corner that the inhibitor turret is going to be finished off here by Ambition. And they tried to get over to cover that one. Thresh kind of half went over there. Tryndamere spawns in and goes there as well. Meanwhile, they are still pushing this top lane out. Ambition has backed away. That was an ace in the hole that just went and did half damage to Yellow Pete's health.
Just the poke to give them more turret and inhibitor pressure. They should be able to get this turret. I mean, Europe is going to have to fight at some point, but there's no way it's going to work out well.
Oh, they pulled Soaz in here. That's going to be an easy kill for Prey. Where's the next target for this one? It looks like they want to get Yellow Pete. Can they lock him up here? Not quite, but Shy will be happy with the rampage as he does take down Udyr as well. And that is an inhibitor going down, and they're going to keep going. Lee Sin again kicks Alex Hitch away. He is forced to use the ultimate from that one, despite not being quite low enough, and it looks like the Koreans want to end the game right here. The first and the second Nexus turrets go down. Europe surely can't hang on to this one. The Koreans going for more kills. They're not done with this one just yet. We are seeing Caitlyn hammering away on the Nexus, and the OGN champions are going to take down the European LCS All-Stars 2-0. Very, very commanding game 2 here coming out of the Koreans. Fantastic play for the victory.